5 clever ways a 90-year-old lived without money. Imagine being 90 years old, with no job, no savings, and no safety net to fall back on. Sounds pretty scary, right? But here's the twist. He lived better than most of us. How? Let me share the story of a man who faced an economic crisis, not with fear, but with something far more powerful: creativity. In just a few minutes, I'm going to reveal how a 90-year-old man survived through one of the toughest economic times in history, not by having more, but by being smarter with what he had. This story will make you rethink how we approach challenges in our own lives. Mala, Monchis Bailadzi. I first heard this incredible story from my neighbor who often talked about his grandfather. His grandfather lived through some of the hardest economic periods, yet he never once complained. Instead of waiting for things to get better, he figured out how to make his circumstances work. How did he do it? I asked my neighbor. With a smile, he answered, Grandpa had a way of making a little go a long way. And that's exactly what I want to share with you today, how this 90-year-old thrived without money by using his resourcefulness and wisdom. Welcome to Elderly Wisdom Secrets, your cozy place for powerful life lessons from the older generations. Today we'll dive into the inspiring story of a man who thrived without money and the valuable lessons we can all learn from him. Let's get started. We've all faced moments when money feels like the biggest problem, especially in tough times. But what happens when you have no money at all? My neighbor's grandfather didn't have a safety net, a large bank account, or even a steady job for most of his life. Yet somehow, he always found a way to get by, even through the Great Depression when everyone else was struggling. While others around him panicked, Grandpa didn't. Instead, he relied on something we often forget in difficult situations: his creativity. Even when money was scarce, Grandpa had something that could never be taken away from him: his resourcefulness. This is where science steps in. Studies show that the most resilient people are not necessarily the wealthiest, but those who know how to adapt and think creatively in difficult situations. According to research from Harvard, people who rely on creative problem-solving during hardships often experience higher satisfaction and greater success. Grandpa's life is a living testament to this. He thrived, not because of luck, but because of his ability to think outside the box and use his imagination to make the most of what he had. So think about it for a moment. What's the most clever way you've ever navigated a difficult situation? Maybe you found an innovative solution when you thought you had none left. I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. How have you tapped into your own resourcefulness during tough times? Now that we understand the power of creativity and resourcefulness, let's explore Grandpa's 5 clever strategies that helped him thrive without money. These habits are simple yet powerful, and by adopting them, you can also improve your ability to face life's challenges with confidence. Let's dive into how Grandpa managed to live a fulfilling life despite financial struggles. Gem 1. The Barter King. Grandpa was a true master of bartering. When money was tight, he didn't just wait for things to improve, he took action. Whether it was homemade bread, fresh vegetables from his garden, or handcrafted goods, he knew how to trade what he had for the things he needed. He would often trade his skills, like fixing a neighbor's window in exchange for eggs, or offering to help with chores for milk. Grandpa understood that bartering wasn't just about exchanging goods. It was about building relationships and creating a network of support. I remember my neighbor telling me about a time Grandpa traded a dozen eggs for a warm coat during a particularly cold winter. He didn't have money to buy the coat, but through his resourcefulness, he got exactly what he needed. It wasn't just about surviving. It was about using what you have, even when times are tough. Try it now. Think about something you have today that you could trade. Whether it's a skill, something you've grown, or a service you can offer. Bartering isn't just something from the past. It can still work today and help you get by without relying on money. What's one thing you'd be willing to trade for something you need? Let me know in the comments. Gem 2. Growing what you need. Grandpa's next habit was growing his own food. It wasn't just a hobby, it was a necessity. He didn't rely on grocery stores for vegetables or herbs. He grew them in his garden. His small garden provided him with enough food to feed himself and his family. When he had extra produce, he traded it with neighbors or sold it to make a little money. But the real value was his independence. Grandpa didn't need to rely on anyone else for food. He took care of himself. Try it now. What can you grow at home today? Even if you don't have much space, you can start small with herbs or vegetables in pots. It's not just about saving money. It's about the peace of mind that comes with being self-sufficient. What's something you'd love to grow at home? Share your thoughts below. Gem 3. The Fix-It Master. Grandpa was also a pro at fixing things. When something broke, he didn't throw it away. He fixed it. If it couldn't be repaired, he found ways to repurpose parts of it. Whether it was shoes, furniture, or even old tools, Grandpa had a talent for breathing new life into things that seemed beyond repair. He always said, "If it's broken, don't toss it. Make it work again." His approach wasn't just about fixing objects. It was about fixing his way of life and adapting to whatever came his way. Try it now. Look around your home. What's something you could repair or repurpose? Instead of replacing something broken, try fixing it or finding a creative way to reuse it. You might be surprised at how easy it can be to give new life to things you already have. What's the most creative repair you've ever done? Share your stories below. Gem 4. Resourceful sourcing. Grandpa didn't rely on traditional ways of getting things. Instead, he knew how to make the most of every resource available to him. If he needed something, whether it was wood for a project or extra clothing, he didn't rush to the store. He found ways to get what he needed for little to no cost, like gathering firewood from the woods or getting scraps from neighbors. Grandpa believed that everything could be reused, whether it was a piece of wood, fabric scraps, or even broken tools. His secret was knowing where to look and how to make things work. Try it now. Think about something you need today. Is there a way you can source it more creatively? Maybe it's finding free materials or reaching out to your community for help. Being resourceful is all about tapping into what's available around you. What's the most creative thing you've sourced or repurposed recently? Let me know in the comments. Gem 5. The Mindset of Abundance. Finally, Grandpa's greatest strength wasn't his skill with bartering, growing food, or fixing things. It was his mindset. He believed that no matter how little he had, there was always a way to make things work. He never thought of himself as lacking. He always saw abundance in what he had. Grandpa often said, "It's not about how much you have. It's about how you use what you've got." This mentality helped him survive, not only financially, but emotionally and mentally, through every tough time. Try it now. The next time you face a challenge, pause and ask yourself, what do I already have that can help me through this? Sometimes, just a shift in perspective is all it takes to turn a tough situation around. What's one way you can shift your mindset to see abundance instead of lack? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear how you're using this mindset to tackle challenges. Now that we've explored Grandpa's 5 gems for surviving without money, let me share one final piece of advice he always swore by: never give up and always keep looking for solutions. Grandpa truly believed that the toughest situations were the ones that pushed us to grow the most. When life got hard, he didn't see it as an obstacle but as an opportunity for growth. Looking back, it's clear that his ingenuity, resourcefulness, and positive mindset were what made all the difference. These were the habits that didn't just help him survive, they helped him thrive. His mindset was simple but powerful. When you face adversity, instead of focusing on what you don't have, focus on what you can do with what you've got. This is the true essence of resilience, using your resourcefulness to adapt and move forward, no matter how difficult life gets. Try it now. Think about a challenging situation in your life right now. How can you shift your perspective to see it as an opportunity for growth? What creative solutions can you come up with? Instead of feeling stuck, see it as a chance to use your skills, knowledge, and resourcefulness to find a way forward. What's one solution you can apply today to a challenge you're facing? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So there you have it. 5 simple yet incredibly powerful gems that helped Grandpa not only survive, but thrive, even without money. From bartering to growing his own food, fixing what others would have discarded, sourcing materials in creative ways, and embracing a mindset of abundance, Grandpa taught us that wealth is not measured by what we own, but by how we use what we have. His resourcefulness and determination were what truly kept him going, even in the toughest of times. Grandpa didn't just survive hardships. He lived fully, with independence and resilience. His story reminds us that life doesn't have to be about what you possess. It's about how you creatively approach life's challenges and use your resources to their fullest potential. So next time you're facing a challenge, remember Grandpa's wisdom. It's not about how much you have, but how cleverly you use it. I hope his story inspires you to think outside the box and make the most of whatever you have, no matter what situation you're in. If you're ready to take these lessons into your own life, think about how you can apply one of these gems today. Whether it's bartering, growing your own food, or shifting your mindset, small changes can make a huge difference in how we face challenges and grow stronger. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you're going to try today to make life a little easier or more resourceful? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us here at Elderly Wisdom Secrets. We're building a community of resilient thinkers, and there's plenty more inspiration and practical tips coming your way. Stay tuned for our next video, where we dive into even more valuable life lessons. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next inspiring story and lesson. Until next time, take care, and remember, life doesn't need to be about what you have, but how you make the most of it.